What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the greatest podcast in the world, True Story. And you know who this is. It is the truth, the dad bod god, the bald, the beard, and the fucking beautiful Piers Austin. And tonight we got a special one for you guys, making his return to the pod, the one and only Downunder. And it's going to happen right fucking now. Break it down like this. And I was like, really? Like, baby face? And the heels were going on. Dude, I thought he broke his neck. The greatest podcast in the world. What's going on, guys? Welcome back. Greatest podcast in the world, True Story. And I'm here with one of my favorite people in the entire world. And I know that I say that about every guest that I have on, but this time I actually fucking mean it. The one and only Downunder. Welcome back to the podcast, bro.
What's going on? Good to be back.
Man? Thanks, man. Good to have you back on, bro. It's been a busy weekend of traveling. That's for sure, man. I was just sort of mentioning before, but man, what's been going on with you guys, man? I heard Fringe Festival. Well, Fringe is going off with RCW, man. What's been happening with that?
Yeah, we've had 2 midnight shows. We got another midnight show happening next Saturday, and then a Sunday Arvo show. So yeah, fair few late nights. Yeah.
Are they full on shows, like a full 2.5 to 3 hour show?
Nah, the 90 minutes, and yeah, we basically got 15 minutes to set up from scratch and 15 minutes at the end to get out. So yeah, and that's reliant on the act before you getting out at the right time and not going over, which first show they went basically half an hour over. So
in a match?
No. Like, they have other performances in the tent.
Oh, okay.
Before us. So, and then, they got 15 minutes to get out, and then we got 15 minutes to get in. So that's to set the ring up and commentary table and all that shit. So, yeah, it's fucking crazy.
That's wild. 15 minutes to get a ring set up?
Yeah.
That is, I've never seen a ring set up that quick.
Yeah, it can happen. Generally, the reason why rings don't go up quick is because people are fucking useless and lazy. But when we do these fringe shows, it's just like ants, man. There's an in and there's an out of the tent, and it's just like a production line. 20, 30 people just bang, 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 bang. So, yeah.
That's insane.
I'd say we've definitely got the most efficient ring crew in Australia. I'd put us up against anyone.
So you got to tear the ring down as well after the 90 minutes?
Yeah.
God damn. That's such a fast-paced environment as well. That sounds so intense.
Yeah, it's crazy. And yeah, we went a bit over in the first show because the act before us went so far over. And then they still got shitty with us, and it's like, fuck, what do you want us to do? You can't cut 30 minutes. Like, we cut time from every match apart from the main to make it up, but you're not cutting 30 minutes from the show when it's not our fault.
How over was the show?
Probably around about the same, half an hour.
Oh.
But we were the last act, so we're okay.
How over with the crowd? How over with the crowd?
Oh, good, man. It's fucking loud. Like, the acoustics in the tent are crazy. I'm not sure in numbers. I reckon there was about 300 or so, both shows. So not as big as a few years ago. We got 624 in the old tent, which was like a circular one. So that was crazy.
But are they all hardcore wrestling fans, or they're just fans of other sort of stuff that are just coming there just to hang out and see some shows, and then it's like, oh, there's wrestling?
Yeah. I'd say it's about 50-50. Like, we've got all our diehards that still come, and then there's advertising, and then people that are just in Gluttony, which is one half of the Fringe, just walking around and seeing what shows are on and whatever, and looking at it going, all right, I'll go watch some wrestling. So he's sort of relying on that. We go and do flyer drops and shit leading up to it in Rundle Mall, through the city and that. And then on the day, we have guys that'll go out to the front entrance and, yeah, try to hock some tickets off. So,
Man, but see, that's good that you guys can present to like a fresh audience as well. Like some people that might not necessarily know about RCW or know about Australian wrestling in general, and then that's their sort of way of, finding the business here.
yeah, I don't know. So many people, though, I swear they just still think, like, oh, this is some act that's come in. Like,
For sure.
it blows my mind how many people I talk to and I say I'm a wrestler. And they're like, oh, do they have wrestling in Adelaide? I'm a massive wrestling fan. It's like, fuck me, it's been like 25 years and people still don't know. That shows how bad the fucking advertising game is.
But, bro, you know what's funny? Like, a friend of mine was at Sydney Airport and he was going away for the weekend when Elimination Chamber was on. And he's not a wrestling fan. He's like, yeah, I'm standing at McDonald's and I see these two guys with fucking belts. like one of them's got over the shoulder and one of them's wearing it. I'm like, yeah. And he goes, I go up to him. I'm like, oh, what's up, boys? How you doing? And he goes, they're both Aussie boys. He goes, one was like a Greek looking guy and one was an Asian guy. And he's like, they had belts on them. And it's like, oh, you guys. And my mate goes, oh, you guys wrestlers. And they're like, yeah, we're wrestlers. And he's like, oh, who do you work for? And they're like, WWE. And he's like, oh, yeah. Like, oh, cool. Do you know my mate Piers? He does a podcast. They're like, no, I never heard of him. I'm like, and I'm like, all right, if you're Australian and a wrestler, like, clearly, I'm like, no, I'm kidding. But I was like, he's telling me this. And I'm like, what do the belts look like? And he goes, they were blue and like silver plate, like the SmackDown tag titles, right? And I said to him, I go, bro, you got worked by a couple of marks. I go, they weren't wrestlers. I said they weren't wrestlers because wrestlers aren't going to walk through the airport wearing their belts. And I said, B, I go, like, I said, what they look like? Were they big athletic? He goes, nah, man, they were tiny, fat, out of shape. I go, bro, like, and you thought they worked for WWE.
They could have been local workers for a few places.
Careful now. You don't want to get in trouble. Oh, I forget. We don't care about that shit.
I'm always in trouble. I don't give a fuck.
Oh, man. Yeah. The story of my life, bro. I seem to upset people on a regular. So, I stopped caring.
People know what I'm like. People who don't know me can
keep
not worry about it. Yeah.
That's it, man. Hey, so I got to say, man, congratulations on being a father for the first time. It's huge news, bro. Congratulations. Cheers to you, brother. How's fatherhood been treating you, man?
Yeah, it's been really good. Like, it's fucking turned your world upside down, but it's the best thing. Like, you think you're ready, but no one's ready. Like, anyone that says they're ready is just delusional. 100%. So, yeah, we had a pretty hard first few months. She had like Ringo Malaysia, which is like the flap in your throat, when you swallow down the wrong hole, basically. So that's really loose, and there's a muscle in there as well, and it was like curled around. It needed to be more like this than that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was pretty shit because when we were in hospital to start with, but after she was born, I was saying to the obstetrician, I think it was, yeah. I said there's something wrong with her breathing, and they're like, "Oh, babies make noise breathing and whatever." And I'm like, "Yeah, I understand that." Like, there was a big gap between me and my two younger brothers. I know what. I'm not an expert, but I know how fucking breathing works, and there's something not right. It's instead of full breath, it's half breath.
Yeah.
So I pushed and pushed every fucking day for 5 days while we're in there. Nah, it's fine. Nah, it's fine. Whatever. So we got home, and yeah, she's fucking terrible at breathing, at feeding, and like on the breast, she just couldn't do it. And so we would like expressing milk and then trying to feed her, and she'd just do a few sucks, and then she'd be spewing a lot, burping a lot. We just, all right, maybe it is normal. Went back for the 2-week checkup, and straight away the nurse was like, "Oh, you need to go to emergency at Women's and Children's, and we're really worried about her breathing." I'm like, and this is in the hospital where we had her. I said, for 5 fucking days, I pushed and said there's something wrong, and it was all good. And she just shut up. She didn't say a fucking word because, they all protect each other.
Of course.
So, yeah, we went there, and yeah, she had cameras down her throat and all sorts of stuff. And then
Sweetheart.
we had to do a sleep study, and yeah, she had like some ridiculous amount of apneas and breathing obstructions through the night. And it was going to take months and months for them even to decide if they needed surgery or not. And the results accidentally got emailed to a doctor that's really high up there. Like, they weren't meant to get emailed to him. He saw it straight away and was like, "Nah, fuck this. Like, she needs to get surgery," and pushed us like to the front of the line. So it's all by chance, basically. So we went in, and she had the surgery. It was only meant to be 1.5 to 2 hours, and it had been like 3.5, and we still hadn't heard anything. And we were like, "Fuck, what's going on?" And we knew she'd be coming into ICU after the surgery.
Yeah.
So we went into ICU, and she was on one of the beds, and there was doctors all around her. And they fucking all looked at us and were like, "Is that the parents?" And we're like, "Yeah." And the nurses come over and like, "You need to leave, like, till we call you back in." And I'm like, "Fuck, man, what's happening?" Like, shit scared. And yeah, she had like big oxygen tube and shit. She'd been on oxygen because of it beforehand at home, but this was like one of the big fucking tubes and shit. And then we come in, and they basically told us like, "Oh, surgery went well. There's a few hiccups, nothing to worry about." And then like a day later, the surgeon actually ended up telling us that she stopped breathing on the table, so they had to intubate her. So they never even told us that. So, yeah, then we're in ICU, then she got rhinovirus. So that was obstructing her breathing even worse. And yeah, it was crazy, man. I was trying to feed her, and she, stopped breathing, and she just sort of went limp. And I'm like, "She's not fucking breathing." The nurses are like looking at me. I'm like, "She's not fucking breathing. Like, what the fuck?" And then she's just like, and breathing again. So,
God, I am so sorry that happened to you guys, man. That is
a perfect storm of shit, man. So,
dude, man. And you know what? It's so scary. Like, you could be like a really, cool hand Luke under pressure, everything like that. But when it's your kid, all that shit goes out the window, bro. Like, all your like, if I know people, like even me and myself who are experiencing emergency management and stuff like that, bro. Like, and we've been in those situations where our kids have been, at risk or whatever, and it's like, fuck, you just forget everything. You're in this panic. You just, man, like, I've never, like, bro, being in that situation is the worst nightmare for any parent. Any parent.
right. Yeah, Amy was so good. She like Dana, like her daughter, she had to be in there for 12 days. So yeah, Amy was in there for the whole time, poor thing. So yeah, but then I don't know. You got people next year where their kids just had a kidney removed, and now they got to have their other one removed and shit like that. And it's like, it can always be worse. Like, it was fucked.
100%. But even like, dude, it doesn't matter though. Like, anytime you got to take your kid to a hospital or an emergency room or something like that, let alone surgery, like, it's always like a lump in your throat. You know what I mean? Like, whenever you're in there with something, but like, to go through that is just on another level.
And she's so little. Like, it's like, how the fuck are you gonna do surgery on something that little? Like, she was only 2.69 kilos at birth. So, and yeah, she never put on any weight too after the surgery because she was burning so many calories trying to breathe that yeah, it was just fucking everything was getting burnt up. So, yeah,
How's she
crazy
going
shit,
now?
man.
How's she doing now?
She's going a lot better now. We had another sleep study the other day, but she didn't pass that, so she got to stay on the oxygen. It's just sort of a waiting game now, just till her throat gets enough strength to, do it all properly. So,
Oh man, well,
yeah, but no, she
yes, you
put
can
on
have
like 1.3 kilos in 8 days after the surgery.
That's
It's
that's
crazy.
impressive. That's
She just
impressive.
went like a fucking balloon, like just making up for lost time. Wow.
She can finally taste how good that milk was and was knocking it down like there's no tomorrow.
I'll go grab her.
Yeah, let's go, man. We're gonna have the baby making the debut on the podcast here tonight. I'm excited for this, man. Down Under's partner, Savannah Summers, long-time Australian wrestling, the queen of Australian wrestling. This is their daughter that we're going to be introduced to now, which I'm really excited. This is going to be fun. This is a wholesome moment on the True Story podcast. If there's ever been a wholesome moment, this is definitely going to be it. And I'm really glad. Here we go. We're gonna get to Australian wrestling is going to meet baby Down Under. Oh, he's
She's
returned.
coming.
She's
She's coming.
I think this
She's just
episode is
getting
going to turn into the whole family episode. But I was just saying, this is probably going to be the most wholesome moment like this podcast has seen ever. So
Yeah, that probably won't be hard. Normally it's just cunts bitching at each other, isn't it?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
I just love all the episodes with all the New South Wales beefs. It's the best.
oh man, it's a lot of fun. Like especially bro, the Thursday show. I keep putting over the Thursday show where it's just like we're just a bunch of guys just hanging out talking, and it's more of a variety show, doing like having some pretty funny segments and stuff that we're doing, trying to find young Akel a wife, who's now over in New York traveling. But we're getting that.
Yeah.
We're getting some traction with that, and we got a lot of good stuff going. I think you would be pretty perfect for the Thursday night show, to be honest. Like I said the same thing to Tony Sin, so I think there's probably got to be a time we're going to bring you in on a Thursday night live.
Here she is.
Here she is, the baby down. Oh, look at her. Hello,
Piers.
sweetheart. Hello. Look at you. She's gorgeous, mate. She is stunning.
She's pretty cute. Oh yeah.
She is. Look at her. She looks exactly like her mum. She's got her mum's eyes.
Yeah, she does. She looks exactly like Amy, and Amy looks exactly like her dad. So
you said that with a little bit of a twist of the voice. I mean, hey, everybody knows that the in-laws, man. You got to love hate, but no, man, that's beautiful. Look at her, man. She's so. Hey, we got a smile as well.
You smile?
Hey,
Yeah.
like I said, most wholesome moment on the pod. Hey, we got another one. Hello. I got the same hairstyle as you.
Yeah, she doesn't have much.
Hey, neither do I.
Isn't it?
There you go. Hey, in about 16 years, she'll be making her debut.
I hope not.
keep her away from the business.
Yeah, go do something good with your life.
Oh damn, man!
You know about the mum? Oh, you got dog hair. Dog hair. That's my life. Dog hair everywhere.
Oh man!
But
I bet the dogs absolutely protect the shit out of her, right?
Well, one of my dogs we're a bit worried about. He's like too obsessed, and I'm like, does he want to eat her or protect her? But Duke, come here.
Nah, man, dogs are really good with kids, man. It's like if you ever give like raw egg to a dog, like it is one of the funniest things that you could ever see is giving a raw egg to a dog. Like they will sit there and like nurture that thing, and they'll be like licking it, and as soon as they crack that shit, they're like, oh, what the fuck? They're all in. But before they crack it, it's like some of the cutest shit you'll ever see. But
yeah, we're a bit worried about him because he has been known to be a bit vicious sometimes. So yeah, but
maybe a good idea to keep that dog away from the baby. Then.
Yeah, no, it was a slow transition, put it that way. I think he was like, "Fuck's sake, I'm always locked outside now."
Oh man. So you mentioned before, man, the podcast and the New South Wales beef. So I hope that's not how the podcast is perceived, though. It's like just like New South Wales wrestling beefs being exposed.
Oh, probably not. It's just generally the episodes that I watch because it's fucking great. Love that shit.
Everyone wants to see the train wreck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Everyone wants
it's
to see Bird.
Sorry.
Everyone wants to see Birdman.
Birdman's an enigma, bro. Like he really is. That's the best way. But dude, last time we spoke, there was a guy running around using your gimmick. Like, has that guy died out like now, or is that still happening?
Gone. Whole promotion gone. I killed it.
Yeah. Bro, all on an episode of the podcast. We ended that very quick.
They buried themselves a lot worse after that anyway, when they messaged a fan.
I saw that. Were they like messaging fans saying like calling them homophobic names and like, yeah, like die bitch, die, we're gonna track you to your address down or something.
Like I've been dying to smash a F word like you or some shit like that. I don't know. That is crackheads from Murray Bridge, mate. So,
oh, bro. Man, I just feel like wrestling and crackheads go hand in hand. Like there's a lot of I'm not everybody, and I'm not saying all like pro wrestlers are crackheads, and I'm not saying all crackheads are pro wrestlers, but I'm saying like there are some similarities. There are some similarities, and there are some that are.
Taking this episode now.
What's
Piers
that?
Austin wrestlers are crackheads. That's all anyone's going to take.
No, not all wrestlers are crackheads, but there's a select few that are. And then, you know, I want to talk to them. I don't know. It's the way to do it, man. But it's crazy. Like the amount of drama that happens in the world of wrestling, it's like sometimes it's just like, yeah, fuck it, and just move on. But I don't know. It's kind of like the Godfather. Every time I think I'm out of it, they pull me back in. So, you know, I'll roll with it.
Wasn't there someone doing a documentary on Birdman?
Yeah, there's something that someone I know is wants to work on, and I think it'd be hilarious.
But, I need to know how he turned out this way. Was he born this way, or what? Like, I worked at AWS show in Sydney, and I didn't know who he was, and I rocked up, and he's fucking come up to me and shook my hand. And he's like, "You from Adelaide?" And I'm like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Oh, I bought a car there." And fucking for the next hour, I just had to listen to him go on about this car, and fucking nothing made any sense.
Mate, if you had a match when you stiffed him, he'd sit there and put you over.
Yeah, he loved LSD. That's the only thing I gained from the conversation. So, each to their own.
Oh,
I'd love to work on these shows just to be in the locker room and just sit back, just have a look.
Bro, I went to a show once and it was wild. It was everything that I heard it would be. And I was just like, you know, he came up to me, he's like, "Oh, brother, if you want to grab the microphone and do some ring announcing or cut a promo and get you and Vinny over, mate, I've got no problem you doing that." And I'm like, "Yeah, nah, man, I'm cool. I'm just going to sit back here and drink one of your just drink one of your beers here, Birdman. I'm just going to chill back with the boys and the girls and just chill out. Yeah, I'm good."
I just love it when he's like, "Yeah, if you're having a shit match, I'll just come out and fucking smash you with a chair."
Oh man, it's funny, bro. But yeah, like it's just good humor though. Like from him, like he just knows how to work it, and it's good because like I've had him on the podcast a few times, and it's just like, "Oh, let's go, Birdman, give me what you got," and it's just like he just never disappoints in just the words that come out of his mouth. I'm just like,
yeah, crazy.
You know, it's the joy of podcasting, man. But you know, but what's been going on with you and Adelaide, man? Like, have you been getting much since like fatherhood and stuff? Have you still been around and been able to get some matches in and start wrestling, you know, regularly?
Yeah, I pretty much didn't stop. I probably should have in hindsight, but yeah, I didn't really. I've dropped the promotion now because it was just I was wrestling every weekend and it was just getting a bit much.
Yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, I never really stopped. So
Oh,
started feeling a bit guilty not spending as much time at home because I work long hours during the week. So I get fuck all weeknights and then you're away Saturday and then Sunday it's like yeah,
you
got
try
to
and
get all the
catch up
jobs
on
done.
sleep.
And, yeah, and then
Yeah.
so I didn't get to spend any time with her. So, but yeah, I went over to Perth for the WWE show and did 2 shows with Dude Where's My Ring. That was fucking real good. I was very impressed with their setup there. Never, I don't know. When I see no ring shows, I'm like, I don't know. There seems something wrong with it because the ring's the centerpiece of wrestling. But after
Hmm.
being there, it was the most fun I've had in years. Like it was really good and really well run. All the guys there are good. They got a good locker room, so good
That's
crowd.
I've always been intrigued about the no ring stuff because it's like I always like equated no ring show to something like a backyard show. And it's like,
Mm,
yeah, I mean, like, that's always me. But like seeing some of the people that have been booked on there, like yourself, who I know is like trained at RCW and has a high standard of where he would perform, I mean, as well as someone like O'Malley as well, who has like traveled, internationally, in the UK and everywhere like that, and to come and do it. So I was like, okay, so this isn't just like out of shape guys that have or girls that have just rolled out of the bar to go and like fling a light tube. Like it's actually going to be some quality wrestling.
yeah, and they've got a good formula. Like they'll have at the most 2 death matches on a show. The rest aren't, but they're real good with every match, sort of having a bit of a different stip. Even like the first night, the first death match was Fudge and Felix, and it was a candy something death match. So it had its own flavour, and then Slate and Harry did like a traditional death match in the main, and they just know what they're doing. Like there's
Yeah,
98% of deathmatch wrestling in the world is fucking dog shit. The other
100%.
2% is the best wrestling in the world. It's so fucking rare that it's good. And even like me and Axton worked Felix and Jared Slate on the second night of the deathmatch. And yeah, like just working to the finish and having the tubes in the finish. And that was it. None of this fucking tapping tubes over each other's heads and no selling shit. And yeah, just telling a story, mate, like building to shit. Like it was good.
100%. Stacking it.
So when
How
when I
was the
rocked up,
yeah.
I saw a table and it was covered in big spikes, and I'm like, what the fuck is that shit? And then I get closer, it's fucking upside down ice cream cones because it's Fudge's fucking gimmick.
Oh, really? That's
Yeah,
even
from a distance, I'm like, who the fuck's taking that? But yeah, crazy.
Oh man, how in all overall, how was the weekend there though? Like, 'cause it would have been pretty crazy. Like, I think there was like 60,000 people in attendance for Elimination Chamber.
Um, if I didn't go to Elimination Chamber, I would have had a fucking great weekend.
Why? What was it? Elimination Chamber that was so shitty?
I'm not a big fan of people for a start. There's a lot of people, a lot of waiting, a lot of lines. I don't know. You just sit there and you watch the fucking screen for most of the night, and it's like, what's the point of being here? Just
Yeah,
and then you zone out, and you're like, I want to be like in the experience, and I feel like if you're not in the first 4 rows, it's just I don't know. I don't think
you
I'll
just
go to another stadium show. Hey,
you're just there in the background.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. You just end up watching the screen like you're watching at home because you can't. And we had pretty good seats, and it's just because the oval is so big, like it creates that much distance between the bleachers and the ring that you can have like good seats in the bleachers, like right near the front, like we did, and it's just still shit. I'd love to
Yeah.
go to like an arena show, like Madison Square Garden or something like that. Would be awesome. But yeah, these fucking big arena shows, it's just there.
Well, I
And
think
then
they're really put on for the online audience and the audience
yeah,
watching at home because like it looks grandiose. You hear the sound of everyone screaming and going nuts.
yeah,
It makes the product so much better, even if the product is dog shit.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, like
exactly.
I think that's the production of it. I think they use that to trap people to buy tickets, and then when they got the tickets, it's like, well, enjoy watching the Titantron or the big screen,
Yeah, I'm sure like diehard wrestling fans and stuff would love it,
Oh,
but
for sure.
I guess when you're in the business and you watch so much wrestling and it's like you want something to pull you in, and it's just like, it's not doing it for me. And then I guess like the main event was awesome because Demi was in it, but apart from that, it was a bit meh. And then yeah, after trying to find a fucking way to get back to the hotel, like trying to get an Uber and just a million people everywhere, and I'm like, fuck this, man. We ended up sitting in the gutter waiting like an hour for an Uber. I'm like, never doing this again.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck that. That sounds like my worst nightmare, bro. So, that's why people, I got asked by a few people. Everyone messaged me going, hey, you going to Elimination Chamber? And I just went all Dennis Stamp. I was like, I'm not booked, Terry. I was they're like, what does that mean? I go, I ain't going. I'm not
I had
booked.
a
I'm going
few
to sit
mates
down.
that were like a couple rows back from the ring, and they said, yeah, it was like amazing, and I'm sure it would have been. But and I mean the chamber's even worse because you barely see them as it is, and then they put the chamber around them and you just can't see anything. It's just
Yeah.
a blur of
And
cage.
it was hot as fuck as well, wasn't it? Like 46 degrees or something in that place.
It wasn't too bad on Saturday. Like it was warm, but it wasn't crazy. Friday it was pretty hot, but yeah,
Yeah,
it's
depressing,
fucking
isn't
hot
it?
here at the moment. It's been like 38, 39 for the last 3 days, so getting
That's
pretty
not.
sick of that.
Oh, bro, 100%, man. Like that's just like the wild and craziness of that event as well, and so many people being at it as well, and just on top of each other, like it looked like at that press conference. That would have been just
Yeah,
like, just my worst nightmare come true. I like nice,
yeah,
cool air conditioning,
I
cold,
was
cold, just nice and chill. Yeah, I'll stay home and watch this shit on my TV. Thanks.
yeah. You were at that press conference. I was just watching it, and I'm like, you fucking all just standing in the sun for like an hour and a half. Like, fuck that.
Yeah,
And then
but
like the line for the superstore, like that's crazy. People were waiting like 5 hours to get in there. And I'm like, nah,
you
no,
can just
not a
buy this shit
chance.
online. You can buy this shit online as well, and it's probably going to be cheaper.
Yeah. We went there on Sunday when they were just about to wrap it up, and there was like no one in there. And the shirts were like $65 each, and there was like basic wrestling figures for 50 that you get in Kmart for like 15, and I'm like, who the fuck's buying this shit?
But that's the thing, bro.
Crazy.
The people who go and they spend that much money, it's for the marks, bro. The marks are
No,
going to go in there. They're going to drop that money very, very quickly because it's the experience. I bought this toy at a fucking at a WWE show. I bought this WWE shirt at a fucking, you know what I mean? Like to them, it's more
they're
of
a
like, oh
machine.
yeah, a
They're a
machine.
fucking machine, man. Well-oiled machine. Just turning
Oh,
over money for nothing.
hey
It's
man,
crazy.
they know how to make money, bro. It's no question about that. But man, with RCW, man, like you've been pretty constant there, and even Demi, or Rhea Ripley coming out of RCW, man. Like, did you have anything to do with it during training, or did you sort of cross paths at
I
any
sort of,
stage?
I think we missed by probably a few months. Um, Obviously she's been back and whatever, so yeah, I've got that quick chat with her a couple of years ago, and yeah, not too much. So yeah, but I'm around a lot of people that did have a big hand in training around that, and yeah, Matt and Chris Basso getting a shout out on commentary from Michael Cole was pretty cool. That's
That
like,
was pretty.
yeah,
That's pretty cool. That
yeah.
is very cool, man. How did you end up seeing the EPW Super Show that they had on that weekend as well? Because I heard
Nah,
great
I
things about that.
was booked on the Dude Where's My Ring show, so yeah.
They rang the
So
same night. Yeah, right.
yeah, it was that, the Super Show, and the Undertaker show, and every show basically sold out. So yeah, it's pretty
Whoa.
cool.
Wow. See but see, it sounds like that's what like a WrestleMania weekend would be like when WrestleMania has like a show on in say
Yeah,
Philadelphia. Like, I think the next one is like then there's like 10 indies in Philly that are
yeah,
run like on the lead up of like Thursday, Friday, Saturday in the lead up to like WrestleMania.
100%. Yeah, and if you were to run a show in Perth that weekend and you didn't draw a good crowd, then fucking hell. Like,
Who else, did
yeah,
anyone else run that weekend, or was it just Dude Where's My Ring and EPW?
I think PWA ran a Lucha show on the Thursday, I reckon it was. I didn't go to that, but I saw a few videos and whatnot. But yeah, I saw clips from the Super Show. It looked pretty cool. Talked to the guys that were there. Delta's entrance was fucking amazing. Did you see that?
Who's one? Sorry,
Delta's
no, I didn't
Delta.
see. I hadn't
It
seen it.
was like full fucking Goldberg. So like the cameras were backstage, and then Dean Brady, like her brother, knocked on the door and was like, "Delta, it's time," and then had like all the young boys following her behind. It was fucking crazy.
That's hectic, man. Delta is amazing, bro. I love her work. Like seriously, she
Oh,
looks so incredible.
yeah, she's one of a kind. She's very good. Um,
Mm.
Not fair, not fair at all. Like how quick she just come in and so good. People like that, it's just like fuck you. But yeah,
Yeah, I know you can bust your ass so long, and then it's like someone comes in, it's just like that level of greatness. Like I saw that one of the clips that WWE put out that she was in it at a tryout, and I really hope she gets picked up.
yeah. Look, I don't know anything.
No,
But
I'm not. I know I'm not trying to push it. I'm just.
she won't be around for long. She can't be. They're fucking crazy if they don't pick her up.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few talents that are probably going to get picked up there, man. Did you get any part of the tryout at all?
No, no, doesn't interest me.
No, you're not
They didn't
interested.
reach that either. But yeah, no, I couldn't think of anything worse, man, than doing
Nah,
that.
you don't have an interest in like trying to get signed or just doing it. It's just for you. This is just a hobby or fun that you do.
I mean, I wouldn't say it's a hobby. Like, I take it very seriously, and I want it to
Of
fucking
course.
grow in Australia. Like, I'm very passionate about it being good in Australia. But I could not think of anything worse than being in WWE and just having no fucking life. Like, it's one thing to be an American citizen and be signed with them and be able to see your family. Like, I know you're away from them a lot still, but you still be able to see them every now and then. But being an Australian, and when you first go over there and you're in the NXT system and you got no pull, you're fucked. You're stuck there for so long. You're not going to see anyone you love for so long. And it's fucking hard yards. I've got a kid. I'm not like,
100%, bro.
but like
Yeah,
the people that are going to do it, like fucking, I'll back them 100%. Like, go do it. Like, I can't wait to see Delta versus Rhea Ripley at Mania because it's going to happen. Like, no doubt about it.
that would be hectic. But yeah, I get it, man. Like when you have kids, there's other like perspectives that you have in life as well, and sometimes you got to put dreams and ambition and stuff like that aside because you got to be a parent. You got to put the family first. I get that.
But I think also a lot of talents in Australia need to have a fucking good hard look at themselves and realize if they're not at that level and they're not gonna get to that level, then you might want to fucking get your shit together in real life because there's so many guys that have fucking nothing. They barely work. They still live at home. And when their fucking little dream doesn't happen, they're gonna have nothing. They're going to be fucking broke in a housing trust home for the rest of their fucking life as a retiree on a pension. Like, yeah, there's too many dreamers. Like, you can have success and become a legend in Australian wrestling and build a fucking life for yourself, buy a house, build a family, like do all those things and still be like a well-respected wrestler. You don't need to go to WWE to get that. So if you're not at that level and you're not self-aware enough to realize that, then yeah, I don't know. Not my problem, but
no, bro, like I completely get it, man. And I feel like and you probably see it as well, man, like the same people that walk around and act like absolute pretentious twats, they're the same people, bro. Like in reality, you get my coffee on a Monday morning, bro. Like don't like, okay, cool, you're really good at wrestling. Well, I'm really good at life. While you're living in a caravan park, bro, I live in a fucking nice big home in fucking southern suburbs of Sydney, man. So, hey, bro, you go enjoy being good at, doing what you do on a weekend, bro, and I'll go do it, be good at doing life. So, thank you. You know what I mean? Like that.
Yeah, that's one thing I've found pretty hard coming into wrestling is just having people that think they're above you because, oh, I've done this in wrestling. I mean, I've done fuck all really when you lay it out. And then you're like, mate, in real life, like, I'm here and you're fucking here and you're trying to tell me how to live my life and what to do. Like, it's the most frustrating fucking thing ever. It's like, you fucking work 2 shifts a week at Subway, I manage a fucking national workshop. Like, no. Like, I know that sounds arrogant, but fuck, man, it drives me insane. And they don't get it. They don't get it because they're not in the real world. They're in that world. And
100%. They're in that world of just like going around in circles of just being, hey, you know what I mean? Like almost like delusional. Like, I did a podcast with someone, they go, yeah, I like with someone, and it's like, yeah, I quit uni for this. Fuck, really? Like, no, don't tell me that. That just hurts my fucking soul. Like, no, don't. Oh, baby boy, no.
But you take like Chris Batso as a classic example. He's one of the most respected workers in Australian wrestling. He's fucking phenomenal. And outside of wrestling, he's successful as well because he hasn't put all his eggs in that basket. He's ran RCW and he's gone places, but he hasn't ever chased it as such. But he's a fucking senior sergeant in the police and he owns his own home and he's got a decked out caravan that he's built, his fucking car, all that shit, because he's actual switched on. He's a realist. And that's a classic example of you can be in Australian wrestling and have that reputation, have that respect, but also not fucking spend your whole life in wrestling because guarantee you'll regret it one day, like when you've got nothing.
Yeah, and exactly, bro. Like, and that's the thing. It's, you've got to be able to embrace other things in life and be able to have a backup plan as well, because the reality is this people that are going to be successful in wrestling and make a full-time living out of it are probably the top 5, maybe top 15% in the world.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? The people that can actually go into WWE level stardom.
Yeah.
Shit. Maybe the top 3% of the world get that opportunity. So,
but you can also get signed and still get nowhere as well. So
Yeah.
you still have something to fall back on, even if you do get signed. Because you might end up in NXT for fucking 2 months and then you're gone. You might be a star in NXT and then go to the main roster and then you're fucking released. And you can only live on that reputation on the indies for so long, especially if you're an Australian and now you're fucking there. And if you're not loving living in the US, then fucking come home. If you had something to fall back on, you'd be making more money in a different job.
Yeah. You'd have a backup, you'd have opportunity, and I feel like that's the big part where, you know, some people, they put all the eggs into one basket, and then when it doesn't happen, that's when you start seeing depression, mental breakdowns, and stuff like that, because it's the people that didn't plan. And it's like, bro, prime example is like, what happens if you have an injury? You fuck your back up. You can't then go and do, you know, get bumped or thrown around, or you break your neck, or you whatever, or some horrific injury, and it, you know, wakes you up. Then you can't go and earn your what you do for a shoot for a living. And then, you know, most times, like, where people go through something like that and it wakes them up and goes, fuck, I can't do this. But like in wrestling, anything can happen. You know what I mean? Like, you're one bad bump away from being in a wheelchair, bro. Like, and it's like, you know, there's certain things of safety that you can do. But if you invest all your being into this, and if something horrific does happen, then you look back and go, fuck.
Yeah.
I mean, like, fuck, I wasted my life.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You know,
but people do what they do. I guess if you believe in yourself, go do it.
But it's also probably not just this industry, like the fight game, the music industry, the movie game, you know, like everything, man. People would like just, I feel like that people now so more than ever have this desire of fame and wealth. And they look at fame and they go, yeah, like if I get fame, I'm reaching a certain level of success. I'm a certain financial thing where I'm set for life if I'm famous. Where you look at the upside down side of it, whereas, you know, some people, yes, they get fame, and then, you know, they get used to a certain lifestyle and a certain spending, and then after a while that money isn't coming in because you aren't the flavor of the month anymore, or you aren't that high roller, and then next thing you know, you're sucking dick behind. I don't know where I was going with that. I was just lost there. But yeah, no, you know, next thing you know, you're begging for change. But it's kind of
the other thing is, like, we're all in a wrestling bubble. Like, wrestling is not as big as other things on like a world stage. So we're in this wrestling bubble, right? And you have guys that go over to the US that move there, or they move to wherever. And in our bubble, we know them. And we're like, oh, yeah, he's sick. We know him. He's almost famous, or him or her. There's plenty of girls over there too.
Yeah,
and it's like they're almost famous to us because they're in a different country doing their thing, barely making a fucking living on the indies. Yeah. And that's what guys and girls are aiming for, to be doing that. Making no fucking money. How's that a goal? Like, all you're ever going to get is maybe respect from your peers, and they'll fucking forget you in a heartbeat anyway. So build a life for yourself. Like, who gives a fucking 20 years if you're like, oh, I worked with fucking American Indies for 15 years and I made it from Australia. So you can fucking make it. Anyone can go over there and do that shit. Like, their fucking indies are worse. On average, we have way better wrestling on our indie circuit than the US. I don't give a fuck what anyone says. There is so much fucking rubbish over there. Like, if you buy a ticket.
But there's also so much of it over there. Like, they're running shows like nearly 7 days a week in some places as well. And like, you look at like Australian wrestling here, and like how much of the quality that we have is good, and then you look at how much of the quality that is fucking dog shit. Right? It's the same level over there, and they're way much bigger. So we're going to see way much more of the dog shit because they have way more many shows that they got going on, and more spots to fill that they can just go, yeah, we'll put fucking Joe Schmo in there and he can stink up the joint for 5 minutes. You know what I mean? Like it's the same sort of thing in a sense. Like, but there's great indie wrestling over there, but there's a lot of dog shit too.
I think we need people in Australia, and I'm not saying there isn't, but people to really invest in the Australian scene and push it. Like we have such good products in basically every state. There's just no backing, and there's no pushing for backing. Like people are so happy with where the promotion is, and they're like, oh, we're drawing 200-300. We're making money. We're a success, and that's fine. That's fine. Fucking, if you're not running at a loss, then that's awesome. That's fucking better than a lot of them. But
for real,
if you want your promotion to get bigger, then you need to fucking promote. You need to be a promoter. Having a promotion and going, I'm a promoter, that's all good and well, but it's in the name. Promote your fucking shows. And don't rely on social media because it advertises to wrestling fans that already fucking know who you are and
100%.
already see your shit and have already liked your pages. If you want to draw, fucking book somewhere that fits 1,000 people, get some radio ads and put it on a fucking billboard on South Road in Adelaide, and I guarantee you get 1,000 people at that show. Guarantee it. But no one's willing to put the money forward to fucking do it.
But I think no one's willing to put the money forward to do it. No one's willing to put the ego aside to also work with other people. And I feel like if every top promotion across Australia and each state is able to sort of join forces and work together. And me and Cam Vale had this conversation on the podcast a few weeks back, and we're like, if people could actually sit down, put the ego aside and look at building something, we could have something good. If we could get the best minds in Australian wrestling and put them all together in one room and say, right, no one's coming out until we have a fucking solid business plan. We're either going to walk in and find a bunch of people dead and one person more on the fucking remains, or they're going to come out with the greatest thing in the fucking world.
The biggest problem I've seen in Australian wrestling when it's come to putting a product out there on TV or on YouTube or whatever is a lot of highlight packages and random shows and stuff. If you want to put a proper product out there, you want something that families are sitting down on a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday night and a Sunday night, like maths, because I fucking love maths. That shit. That's fucking wrestling. That show is wrestling. Book your shit and put it out, something for someone to follow. No one gives a shit about a fucking 8-match card with a heap of awesome matches. There's a niche audience that cares about that. But, people pay for the characters and the stories. They get the wrestling for free. So stop concentrating so much on the wrestling and build your audience and build something that they can follow. Something that they go home at family dinner and talk about, like, oh, fuck. Do you think Downunder and Mr. Cliff are going to have a match now? Like, it has to happen. This shit's been building for fucking 6 months. Yeah. Like, you need stuff to follow. And that's how you create an audience. I guarantee if you had Australian wrestling on Channel 9 fucking one night a week and it was an hour show and there was story arcs that people could follow, people would watch just out of morbid curiosity and they would get sucked in. Because people go to wrestling shows that aren't wrestling fans and they love it every time. But they don't know about it. And getting them there is the problem. Once they're there, it's easy. It's fucking piss easy once they're there to impress them.
I think as well as having a captivating performer is enough that can grab your attention, and having someone behind the scenes who can know how to highlight them, you know what I mean? Like, can know how to get it over. Like, I think, WWE knows how to really, highlight stars and get people over on a huge level and get them in a sense to where they become money makers. And I feel like that needs to be looked at. And, I feel as there's so many good workers here in Australian wrestling, but there needs to be more than that. You look at WWE. Okay, being a great wrestler, like everyone who like in WWE, everyone's a great wrestler. Like you got to be a great wrestler just to be there. That's just a prerequisite. But it's like, what else do you bring to the table? What else do you have that can draw people in? That can make them believe. They can make them suck them in.
That's so big right now, and just fucking none of it's about the wrestling. The wrestling is nothing. You watch Raw or SmackDown, the wrestling's annoying. It gets in the way.
Yeah.
Of people doing promos. Like, there needs to be more wrestling, but yeah, they you can not like their product, that's fine, but what they're doing is working. So,
I mean, look at Logan. Look at Logan Paul, for example, bro. He didn't get signed because he could do a great fucking DDT and a great drop kick. No, he comes with 2.5 million followers on Instagram that got fucking WWE's, antennas like twingling and that funny feeling in their stomach, and they're going, "This guy's going to bring a new audience to our product. Great, let's throw some money at him. Hopefully, it works." And he just happened to like money. Hey,
look at Ricochet. He's fucking the most acrobatic person. He can do all the crazy shit, and no one gives a fuck about him.
Nope.
There's nothing there. Like, I'm sorry, but I'm sure he's got his fans, but people like that, you've got 2/3 of what you need, and the other third's missing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and when you have that missing piece, that's where you see it. Like, dude, even you could see on level of on WWE where they had like EC3, right? They had him, before he went to TNA, and it was like couldn't do anything with him. Got rid of him. Went to TNA. They brought him in, put him behind a huge storyline as Dixie's nephew. Became Ethan Carter III, EC3. And then even then goes back to WWE and they're going, what do we do with him? And I thought the same thing, that they were going to do the same thing with LA Knight, where they're just like, what do we do with him? Where do we go? I just thought that their product and their vision just didn't work for him. And I thought the same thing with LA Knight was going down. I was just like, oh, wow, this is just a repeat. But, most of the time they hit it out of the park, but sometimes it's just, the
I love LA Knight. I think LA Knight's fucking fantastic, but I'm surprised they signed him in the first place. Like, we'll re-signed him later because just the age difference and that they've been there, done that, and it hadn't worked. So, like, him being over as he is now is like fucking. I take my hat off to him. Like, it's crazy. Like, what a story to go from where he was to that. Just because, like, he's great. He's a fucking phenomenal worker. And to survive the pre-male model bullshit, like, what a worker.
Dude, that was a fucking thing. But, like, bro, even when he came in and changed his name, and I said this, I think, once before, they changed like Walter's name. They brought Solo Sikoa in, and all these people are chanting, Walter at Gunter and chanting Uso at Solo Sikoa. But there wasn't anyone that was chanting, Eli Drake at LA Knight. Because he went in and got that shit. Like, bro, and it comes with experience, bro. Like, he'd been in the game for like 17, 20 years and comes in as like, bro, he knows how to get that character over, and came in, just did the same fucking shtick and just did the, and then it's easy for people to follow along to, easy for people to catch on to, is the L-A Knight, same thing as before, the same sort of syllables in the breakdown. Okay, straight away, as soon as the audience was like going repeating when he was doing the LA Knight stick, that's when he's fucking got him and knows what he's doing.
Yeah, and a lot of people gave him shit for like, oh, you're copying The Rock, fucking rah. It's like, yeah, why wouldn't you? If more people emulated top wrestlers, the business would be better. Instead of emulating your favorite fucking lower to mid card guy because he did cool moves, how about you look at the guys that made the money and become the big stars? Like, isn't that common sense?
Yeah, but the thing is, he didn't even copy him to like a major extent as well. It was just I feel his deliverance is very similar to The Rock. like the way in his cadence, but like in promos, but like like he doesn't do like I would I say does he rip off The Rock? No. You know what I mean?
No.
Like, no, he doesn't rip him off. If you smell what LA Knight is cooking, no, he doesn't do that shit.
If anything, I think he had a lot more similarities to Steve Austin when he first started getting over than The Rock. Just his mannerisms and his like, he'll stomp this way, talk, stomp that way, talk, look this way, stomp that way. Like the whole, I think he's a lot more similar to Austin than The Rock.
Well, even what? Same sort of thing. You're 100% right. You can definitely see he was influenced by that Attitude Era and bringing in that different, I think you see a mixture of both of them, but man, I think it's someone who's basically been influenced, but I wouldn't say it's someone who's blatantly ripping anyone off, to be honest. Yeah. And believe me, bro, I don't put anybody over, bro. I'll always be the guy to talk shit on the podcast, but in all reality, how can you talk shit about a guy who's fucking killing it? Yeah, I mean, like you really can't, bro. But man, look, we had
been busting his ass for this long, and now he's at this age, and he's fucking here. And now he knows he's got to fucking run hard and fast now because he's running out of time.
100%.
He's going to do it because it's make or break.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at it, it's like a lot of workers reach their peak in their 40s, bro. You know what I mean? Because they start in their 20s. After 20 years in, they're like, okay. They pick up a lot of certain things and deliver it. Like even when you see Roman now, when he does promos, like compared to before, like his pauses, even when he's in the ring, he's not wasting emotion. Like he'll do something and then stop and then like look across, flick his hair back.
Yeah, I think their styles change a lot too. Like look at AJ Styles. He got sick of hurting himself. So you fucking change your style, and in WWE, that's what you got to do anyway. You slow down.
So, well, when you work in that schedule as well, like you can't go 100. Like you know what I mean? Who's that worker on the Indies? The Vikingo. El Dehijo Vikingo, whatever. Like, bro, could you imagine him working for WWE doing like 6 nights a week, doing all that fucking insane moves, bro? He'd be dead. Can
you imagine Darby Allin wrestling in fucking 10 years?
Oh man, I don't watch AEW. I can't watch it.
I don't see the highlight packages. It's a fucking dumpster fire.
Oh, bro, it's fucking awful, man. But
I just feel bad with Sting. Like Sting's last match, and they're fucking bumping through glass shit, and like fuck, and him taking that bump off the ladder onto the ground outside through that painted glass. It's like that just shows your fucking brain. Your mentality is so stupid. It's Sting's last match. This is not about you. It's about Sting. The fuck are you?
100%. Like we spoke about this on Thursday, man. It stole his moment. It stole the moment from Sting away.
It's Sting. Sting, like the guy that's world renowned for deathmatch wrestling. Like, fuck off, you idiots.
Yeah, exactly, bro. But that's the thing with AEW, man. They market to this small mark audience, bro. In the indie wrestling, they market for their current audience, bro. They don't market for other people outside of wrestling. And that's a shame. But like, is Tony Khan going to go broke? No, he's worth fucking billions, bro. Like he's going to keep fucking pumping in money into this until his hobby gets boring and he doesn't want to fucking do it anymore, and he's a kid with his action figures at the moment that runs around playing with wrestlers that and treats them like fucking toys. And, for the most
my wrestling figure from wrestling when I was a kid was booked fucking 10 times better than
AEW. I mean, you probably have a better storyline as well when you were 10-year-old down under booking shows with action figures, man. So it's crazy, man. Like I always seem to find myself here talking about AEW and Birmingham, to be honest, and it kind of gets to the point where I'm like, oh shit, maybe I should stop.
It makes me angry when I talk shit about them. Guys that like are all for them. They're like, oh, you just fucking want AEW to fail. It's like, no. I wanted AEW to succeed, like, just as much as anyone. but it's too far gone. It's fucking shit. Like, it is rubbish.
Yeah.
And Tony's never going to relinquish power to a fucking booker. Like,
He
crap.
wants to be the Vince McMahon and Paul Heyman and be the booker, the guy that's running it and stuff like that. And even when they're talking about Wednesday Night Wars, like WWE, like what? Like, what are you on about? Like, oh fuck, are we? Oh yeah, cool, good on you. Fuck, like
He's
piss
the
off.
worst public speaker I've ever seen in my life. He's shocking.
Bro, like
it's embarrassing. It's fucking embarrassing. And what
he's
was
on.
the banging? Like,
But I'll tell you what, man, I'd be happy to get on the nose beers with Tony Khan, man. I'll be his new best friend. Hey, bro, come on, man. I'll help you book the shows, brother. We'll get on the nose beers. We'll drink White Claws and fucking twisted tea and all that shit.
I'd end up killing him. I would. He'd come to you with ideas and he'd be so set, like, this is fucking amazing. And he'd be like, you're fucking stupid. This is the dumbest shit. And that'd be it. Oh, no, he doesn't fire people, so you wouldn't be fired. Can't get fired.
Nah, that's why, bro. I don't want to be the other thing, man. I'd be like, yeah, I'd be putting him over, man. I'd be the ultimate worker. I'd be like, yeah, brother, that's the greatest idea of all time, man. Yeah, what you want to? Yeah, let's have another White Claw, bro. Fuck earth, man. You're the best, like, bro, book of the year, man. I'd work the shit out of that little motherfucker, bro.
Yeah, well, there's plenty of people doing it.
Oh, for real, man. But hey, listen, man, we've been going at this for an hour, man. It's been great having you on. The time just keeps flying by, bro. But man, where can everyone find you on social media? What have you got coming up that people can come and check out and buy some tickets to?
So social media is just Downunder Pro Wrestler on Instagram, and think Downunder Professional Wrestler on Facebook. We've got another 2 big RCW shows coming up next weekend. Midnight show and a afternoon show. Best be getting tickets to that afternoon show. You'll see me do some crazy shit on that. Then we got ACW the weekend after, big triple threat. Redshaw, me, Mr. Cliff for the title. So yeah, get my hands on Mr. Cliff and bash shit out of him because I hate school teachers.
Hey, man. Hey, my wife's a school teacher, man. Come on now.
All right, male school teachers.
That's much better. But guys, till next time, this has been the greatest podcast in the world, True Story. Make sure you check us out on YouTube or your podcast platforms, and make sure, and also Twitch, make sure you tune in for True Story Thursdays, where we spit the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. So help you God, where your feelings get left at the motherfucking door. But until next time, Down Under, it's been great talking to you. Thank you so much for your time. Everybody take care. All the best. Peace out, you bitch motherfuckers.
Break it down.